The moment someone disrespects you, they are not just testing your patience. They are testing your self-control. Most people fail that test instantly. One insult. One rude comment. One moment of humiliation. And suddenly their emotions explode. Their peace disappears. Their judgment collapses. They become angry, defensive, emotional, and completely controlled by another person. That is why Stoicism teaches one powerful sentence you should remember forever when someone disrespects you. I refuse to become like you. That sentence changes everything. Because the moment you react with rage, hatred, and emotional chaos, you slowly become exactly like the person who offended you. And the Stoic refuses to lose himself just to win an argument. Think about how many people destroy their own peace trying to prove a point to people who were never worth their energy in the first place. They lose sleep over insults. They replay conversations in their mind for days. They imagine revenge. They argue endlessly in their head. And while the other person has already moved on, they remain trapped emotionally. Stoicism teaches that this is not strength. This is emotional slavery. The truth is, if another person can control your emotions with a few words, then they control you. That is dangerous. A Stoic understands something most people never learn. Your mind is your greatest possession. Protect it. Guard it. Train it. Because once your inner peace is gone, everything around you slowly begins to collapse. Your focus weakens. Your discipline weakens. Your clarity disappears. Your emotions take over your decisions. And emotional decisions often create painful consequences. Marcus Aurelius once reminded himself constantly that people would be rude, selfish, arrogant, dishonest, and disrespectful. Not because he was negative, but because he understood human nature. He prepared his mind before life tested it. That is the difference between emotional people and disciplined people. Emotional people wait until conflict appears before they try to control themselves. Disciplined people train their minds before conflict ever arrives. And because of that, they remain calm while everyone else loses control. Imagine this. Someone insults you publicly. Maybe they mock your appearance. Maybe they disrespect your effort. Maybe they try to embarrass you in front of others. Most people immediately feel heat rise inside them. Their ego becomes wounded. Their anger takes control. And within seconds they say things they later regret. But the Stoic pauses. Not because he is weak. Not because he is afraid. But because he understands something powerful. A person who cannot control their emotions becomes easy to manipulate. The Stoic refuses to hand over that power. There is something deeply intimidating about calmness. Especially in today's world. People expect reactions. They expect emotional explosions. They expect drama. But when someone remains composed under pressure, it creates silence in the room. People notice it immediately. Because emotional control has become rare. Most people are ruled by feelings. One compliment makes them arrogant. One criticism destroys their confidence. One rejection ruins their entire week. Their emotions constantly move up and down depending on what other people say. But Stoicism teaches stability. Stay grounded during praise. Stay grounded during criticism. Stay grounded during conflict. Because your peace should never depend on the opinions of unstable people. That is real power. The world often mistakes loudness for strength. But Stoics understood that true strength is quiet. True strength is being able to hear disrespect and still remain in control of yourself. Anyone can scream. Anyone can react emotionally. Anyone can lose their temper. But not everyone can stay calm. That takes discipline. That takes training. That takes inner mastery. And the beautiful thing about Stoicism is this. It teaches you that not every battle deserves your energy. Some people are deeply unhappy inside. They carry anger everywhere they go. They insult others because they hate themselves. They provoke reactions because chaos is the only form of control they understand. And when you react emotionally to them, you enter their world. You start operating at their level. The Stoic refuses to descend into emotional chaos. Instead, he protects his peace. Because peace is expensive. It takes years to build a disciplined mind. And only seconds to destroy it with emotional reactions. This is why Stoics valued silence. Not weak silence. Not fearful silence. Powerful silence. The silence of a person who no longer feels the need to prove themselves to everyone. There is a massive difference between silence from weakness and silence from strength. Weak silence comes from fear. Strong silence comes from self-control. And people can feel that difference immediately. When someone insults you and you remain calm, they suddenly realize they cannot control you. That frustrates them. Because emotional people feed on reactions. They want your anger. They want your frustration. They want evidence that they reached your emotions. But when you stay composed, you deny them that satisfaction. And nothing confuses a disrespectful person more than calmness. Seneca once warned that anger is temporary madness. Think about how true that is. How many people ruin relationships because of one emotional moment? How many people destroy opportunities because they could not control themselves for a few seconds? How many regrets are born from uncontrolled reactions? One moment of anger can create years of consequences. That is why Stoics slowed down before speaking. Because emotional reactions are usually expensive. And wisdom understands the cost before acting. Modern society encourages constant emotional reactions. People react instantly online. Instant outrage. Instant arguments. Instant judgment. But wisdom moves differently. Wisdom observes first. Wisdom thinks carefully. Wisdom chooses peace over ego. And ego is dangerous. The ego constantly wants revenge. It wants validation. It wants to prove superiority. It wants to win every argument. But Stoicism asks a different question. Will this matter in a year? Most of the time, the answer is no. People waste years fighting temporary battles with temporary people over temporary words. Meanwhile, their real life suffers. Their goals disappear. Their discipline weakens. Their mental peace collapses. Stoicism teaches emotional economy. Protect your energy carefully. Because attention is power. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If your mind constantly focuses on negativity, conflict, and disrespect, eventually your entire personality becomes heavy and bitter. But when you protect your inner world, your life changes. You become calmer, sharper, more disciplined, more difficult to manipulate. And people notice that energy immediately. A calm person carries silent authority. Not forced authority. Natural authority. Because calmness signals confidence. A person who constantly reacts emotionally appears unstable. But a person who remains grounded under pressure appears powerful. That is why Stoicism feels almost magnetic today. Calmness stands out in a noisy world. Think about lions for a moment. Lions do not panic at every sound. They do not react emotionally to every disturbance. They conserve energy. They move with patience. And because of that, their presence alone commands respect. The Stoic mindset works the same way. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every disrespect deserves your energy. Sometimes people reveal more about themselves than about you. A wise person understands this deeply. If someone insults you constantly, it often reflects their insecurity, not your worth. Happy people rarely spend their lives trying to humiliate others. Confident people rarely need to disrespect everyone around them. Inner pain usually creates outward negativity. And once you understand this, you stop taking every insult personally. This changes your entire life. Because now you stop seeing disrespect as a personal attack. Instead, you see it as information about the other person's character. And that emotional detachment protects your peace. Epictetus taught that if someone speaks badly about you, remember that they only know the version of you they have created in their mind. That is powerful. People do not always react to reality. They react to their perceptions, insecurities, jealousy, fears, and assumptions. So why destroy your peace trying to control opinions that were never rational to begin with? You cannot control every opinion. You cannot control every insult. You cannot control every misunderstanding. But you can control yourself. And that is where real freedom begins. The Stoic understands that self-mastery matters more than public approval. Because public approval changes constantly. Today people praise you. Tomorrow they criticize you. If your confidence depends on external validation, your emotional state will always remain unstable. True confidence comes from character. From discipline. From self-respect. From knowing who you are without needing everyone else to confirm it. That kind of confidence is quiet. It does not beg for attention. It does not chase validation. It simply exists. And ironically, that quiet confidence earns more respect than loud arrogance ever will. There is enormous strength in emotional restraint. Not suppression. Restraint. Stoicism does not teach you to become emotionless. It teaches you not to become controlled by emotion. Feel anger if it appears. But do not obey it blindly. Feel disappointment. But do not allow it to poison your peace. Feel hurt. But do not let that pain transform you into a bitter person. That balance is rare. And it requires practice every single day. Nobody becomes mentally strong overnight. Even the great Stoics struggled internally. Even Marcus Aurelius battled frustration, exhaustion, and anger. But they trained their minds daily. Because mental discipline is built the same way physical discipline is built. Repetition. Every moment you choose calmness over rage, you become stronger. Every moment you choose silence over unnecessary conflict, you become wiser. Every moment you protect your peace instead of your ego, you grow. And eventually something changes inside you. You stop needing to prove yourself constantly. You stop reacting to every insult. You stop seeking validation from people who do not matter. You become emotionally independent. And emotional independence is freedom. Most people never experience that freedom. They spend their entire lives emotionally controlled by strangers. A rude comment ruins their mood. A negative opinion destroys their confidence. A disrespectful moment consumes their thoughts for days. They become prisoners of external events. But the Stoic breaks those chains. He understands that inner peace must come from within. Not from public approval. Not from praise. Not from avoiding criticism. Because criticism is unavoidable. Disrespect is unavoidable. Conflict is unavoidable. But suffering from those things constantly is avoidable. That is the difference. The Stoic accepts reality without surrendering peace. And this mindset changes how you walk through life. You become calmer in difficult situations. More patient during conflict. More focused under pressure. More disciplined during emotional moments. People start noticing something different about you. Your energy changes. Your presence changes. Your reactions change. You no longer appear desperate for approval. You no longer appear emotionally unstable. You become grounded. And grounded people naturally command respect. Not because they force it, but because people trust calmness. Calmness feels safe, stable, strong. This is why Stoicism remains timeless. Human nature has not changed. People still disrespect others. People still seek reactions. People still allow emotions to destroy their peace. But the Stoic continues choosing discipline. Again and again. Day after day. Moment after moment. And eventually that discipline becomes identity. A person who masters themselves becomes difficult to break. Difficult to manipulate. Difficult to intimidate. That is true strength. Not physical dominance. Not loud aggression. Not emotional explosions. Real strength is inner control. The ability to remain calm while others lose themselves emotionally. And the moment you understand this deeply, life becomes lighter. You stop carrying unnecessary anger. You stop replaying insults endlessly in your mind. You stop fighting battles that never mattered. Your mind becomes quieter, cleaner, more peaceful. And peace is one of the rarest forms of wealth in the modern world. Never allow disrespectful people to steal that from you. Because once your peace disappears, your clarity disappears with it. And clarity is everything. Clear minds make better decisions. Clear minds build better lives. Clear minds create stronger futures. That is why Stoicism protects the mind above all else. At the end of the day, the greatest victory is not defeating another person. It is mastering yourself. And when someone disrespects you, remember this sentence. I refuse to become like you. Because your peace matters more than your ego. Your discipline